Welcome back to another episode of Ruthless TV, where I break down Tyler Perry's Ruthless TV episodes scene by scene. Today we will be breaking down Season 2, Episode 5, entitled Agitators. Ruth continues her advances towards the highest to get him right where she wants him. Daikon learns that there's an infiltrator in the camp and vows to find out who it is. Okay, so the show opens with Andrew and Oliver. Andrew is advising him that he needs to go ahead and move that car, but then Oliver tells him that he can't find the keys. Oliver is so out to lunch these days, it's unbelievable. But of course, in the last episode, Lacey took the keys when she gave him a hug. When she found out that he didn't want to leave the compound, she took matters into her own hands very, very quickly. Then we have Andrew running into William, and William is letting Andrew know that he wants him to show him those moves that he showed him a couple of episodes ago so that he can protect himself. And Andrew's basically letting him know, look, son, this is not a good time. I'll show you later. And William gets in his feelings again, and he says, no one ever has time for me. No one cares. And then Andrew has to reassure him that he does care, and he just don't have time to show him in this very moment. Then we have out to lunch Oliver popping up on Andrew. He ran up behind him like really, really fast. And Andrew was like, well, what are you doing running up on me like that? Like, what's up? And he's letting him know he still can't find the keys. So at this point, we heard this loud scream that permeated through the compound. The screams were because the highest was walking through the compound with blood everywhere. After he killed the escapees, he had blood on his face, on his shirt, and he decided he was just going to walk through the compound so that everybody could see him. Remember back last season, he said he wanted to hang the escapees, kill them and then hang them from the pavilion so that everyone could see them to teach them a lesson. Then everyone is kind of backing back, making room for him to walk through, and William is falling to his knees. Then everyone is standing there in awe, and here comes Elder Mother. Have mercy, Rakumas. Elder Mother Marva is crying all over the place. She cannot contain herself. She actually thinks that the highest has been hurt. She wants to know if there's something she can do, how she can help. And then here comes Daikon. He tells her, no, look, leave him alone. He's just fine. Then Andrew wants to know whose blood is it, and the highest tells him that it's the blood of the wicked. The highest wants everyone to take this as a lesson, and he's basically telling them, letting them know, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you try to leave. He reminds them that he is the highest. And then Elder Mother is bowing before him like she's in some sort of Chinese ritual or something. Then Daikon speaks to everyone, and he lets them know that, there were people that were trying to leave last night, and he let them know that the highest is going to need a bath. And Elder Mother quickly stepped in and said, okay, I'll prepare the bath. And Daikon said, no, Ruth will prepare the bath, and River's going to help her with the water. And that really hurt Elder Mother's feelings. She was all over the place. She just could not believe that she's not going to be giving the highest a bath. As if he's a 2-year-old. She reminded me of someone's mom whose baby was being taken away from her. Like, she was really out of it, crying hysterically, and just couldn't believe that she couldn't give him a bath. Andrew is scaring me a little bit. Every scene that he's in, he's walking around the compound with his gun drawn, fingers on the trigger, okay? So I'm wondering, he's ready. He's set on ready, him and Oliver. But anyway, he's asking Daikon what happened. He asked Daikon if the highest killed the escapees. And Daikon said that you never return when you leave. Of course, by nature, Andrew has his investigative hat on, and he's asking all the right questions, but Daikon is the master of deflection, okay? And he answered Andrew with these vague, sarcastic answers. Like, Andrew would ask, did the highest kill them? And then Daikon would say, oh no, we all killed them. Then Andrew asked, well, where did he leave the bodies? And then Daikon would say, in the hell that they prepared for themselves. You know, he just kept on and on and on and not really answering his question directly. Then Daikon wants to know if everything was going a-okay at the compound, and Andrew said yes, everything was just fine on the compound. Then here comes Oliver again. You know, of course, Oliver is very, very nervous, but, you know, even more so now he can't find the keys to the car. But Andrew tells him, you know, you need to move the car at nighttime now. Oliver was telling him that he was talking to Lacey, and Andrew was like, look, get your head out of the clouds, son. You know, we need to get this taken care of. You need to get this car moved and get it moved quickly. No more games, no more delays, no more losing keys, no more talking to Lacey. Like, you really need to get this car out of here before somebody finds it. Then we move on to Deputy Poke and Melinda. Melinda finally showed back up on the scene. I'm glad to see her because, like I said before, she's very important in this Rakadushi investigation, so they can find out exactly what the police station has on the compound. But anyway, Deputy Poke calls Melinda and asks her, you know, are you at my place? And Melinda's like, no, I'm out. You know, she's got this attitude now. I don't know where her attitude's coming from, but she's giving him a little attitude. And he says, well, you know, I want to see you. Can you come back to my place? You know, I'm going to be getting off soon. And, you know, she's a little resistant at first and says, you know, she's out. She's not going to come back. And, you know, not at that time. And she, you know, breaks down and finally says, you know, well, I'll just let you know when I'm on the way. Melinda is in there with Elder Mother, and they're having a conversation, and they basically speak about how eager and dumb the deputy is. And Elder Mother lets her know that the highest is pleased with her, and she's definitely fascinated with the highest, and she wants to know if the highest knows her by name. And then Elder Mother assures her, yes, he knows you by name, but, you know, he knows all of his children by name. So that kind of bursts her bubble a little bit, but she still wants to meet the highest. She wants to be in his presence. She wants to have his baby. Oh, yes, she wants to have the baby. She said, you know, do you ever think, she asked Mother Elder, do you ever think that I'll go through a coronation? And then Elder Mother tells her, yes, you know, you're going to go through the coronation, and she's very eager to carry the seed of the highest. Then we have Tally and Yancey. Yancey, of course, wants to see Tally again, and Tally said she doesn't want to see him again. She thought that he was going to help her, and Yancey's telling her, well, you really don't have a choice. You know, they're both threatening each other to go to the highest. She said, if I have to go to the punishment trailer, then so be it. Yancey told her that if you don't come to the bus tonight, then I'm going to tell the highest. So as he's telling her this, Andrew walks up. And basically, to sum it up, Andrew is basically telling him not to talk to her so much. And Yancey agreed. And Yancey told him, you know, I don't want anything to come between me serving the highest and the Raku, especially a woman. Then Andrew told him to go ahead and get back to work. Then we moved to River carrying buckets of water for the highest bath. He calls William over to have him take them to Elder Mother so that she can warm them up. Then he runs into Ruth, who's sitting at the pavilion or on the porch or wherever she's sitting, picking flowers for the bath. Then they go on to have a conversation about how dramatic it was for the highest to come through the compound, you know, with all the blood on him. And Ruth is telling River that he likes to play mind games. And River thinks that Daikon is playing mind games with the highest when he asked Ruth to run a bath for him. And Ruth doesn't really care. She's like, I don't care, you know. Then he reminds her how jealous Daikon can be. And they just kind of go back and forth, and Ruth is a bit upset because River allowed the escapees to leave, basically blaming him for their demise. And River is having a hard time believing that they were actually dead, and believe that they were using pig's blood instead of human blood that was on the highest. So he just kind of I don't think he wants to believe it. I think he kind of believes it, but he didn't want to believe that the highest bludgeoned them to death with a baseball bat. Then River goes on to try to offer advice to her as to how to handle the highest. But they kind of go back and forth, and he asks her, how does she end up there? And she tells him a lot about, I'm used to handling men. I don't need you really telling me how to handle men because I'm used to being around men and, knowing what powerful men want. She tells him the more powerful they are, the more they want to be punished. And the way that River says that he ended up at the compound is that he was looking for free love, but ended up in bed with a psycho. So he walks away, and they both, proceed to go and give the highest his bath. Then we cut to Lacey, Zane, and Paula, and they're in their trailer discussing leaving. Of course, Paula is ready to go. She's moving a bit too fast, I think, at this point. But Zane, that I called Rain last video, she's actually the voice of reason here. She's become a reasonable thinker, and she is telling them to wait. We're going to get out of here eventually, but we need to just wait. But then here comes Lacey chiming in, say, oh, I have car keys. We can just leave Lilo's car and make it to the sheriff's station, and then we'll be fine. But, again, Zane is being the voice of reason and saying, hey, we can't do that. But Paula said, I'm in, I'm all game, let's just leave tonight when the lights go out. Then we cut to the elder mothers standing on the porch, and elder mother Marva is really, really upset, and she's so mad because she can't give the highest a bath. I don't know what it is about these baths, but she's very possessive of him, and she's very upset. Then Agnes says, I thought that you were supposed to wash the highest, and she says, are you trying to make me more upset? And Agnes says, no, I'm sorry. Marva thinks that Daikon is doing this to mess with her and just to get back at her, and just trying to get under her skin and make her upset with giving Ruth her tasks to wash the highest. The highest loves me. He favors me. No. She is hands down the best actress on this show, period. But anyway, she says it's not right that they're doing her like that. And she says that she has to put Melinda in the trailer with Ruth. Well, not with Ruth, with Ruth. Ruth. She calls her Ruth instead of Ruth. So anyway, she's going to put Melinda in the trailer with her to so that she can keep an eye on Daikon and Ruth, because of course at this point she really doesn't trust him now. Then Agnes offers to help by offering to have Joan to go in the trailer with her, and then elder mother Marva says no, she won't be able to do it. Let me just get Melinda to do it. And then she goes on to let her know how upset she is by spitting on the ground. Yeah, some nasty spit. Okay, that lets you know how angry she was. Then we move on to the next scene where we see River and William pouring the warm water into the tub for the highest to bathe, and then Ruth excuses them so that she can give him the bath. First and foremost, Ruth has taken the cloak off, okay? She has her long hair cascading down her back. She has on this black long teddy with matching undergarments. Then we have the highest over here, all bloody, okay, with all this sticky blood on him, ready to get into the tub. Of course, the room is a little dark, and they've got the candles lit all on the wall. So it's a bit romantic, and I love this scene. I don't really like all the blood everywhere, but the mood is definitely set, okay? This was a really long scene, so I'll try to sum it up as best I can, as quickly as I can. But as soon as he gets into the tub, he begins to cry like a baby. And then Ruth is, on her knees. She goes over there to comfort him. And he's basically upset because he feels that everyone is betraying him and they always want to leave him. Ruth reassures him that she will never leave him, and then she starts to, sponge him off a little bit. Now, what's really funny to me is that they don't have any soap in the water. It's just water. He's got blood everywhere, in his hair, on his face, on his chest. It's everywhere, and they have clear water. Like, there's no soap, there's no type of detergent, no type of nothing to help get the germs off. Then the highest rambles on about the type of leader that he wants to be and the type of king that he wants to be. He really wants to be a good person. But, of course, I think he's got like so many psychological issues, and he's in too deep that prohibits him from really moving over into that softer side of him. And then she, tells him she understands, and then she starts to wash him down below, and then he goes, "Don't touch me there." And then he threatens to kill her. He said, I've already killed 6 people, do you want to be the 7th person? Because he asked her to leave, and she said, "I'm not leaving." And then he said, "Oh, I want you to leave." And then when he talked about killing her, she slapped him. She slapped the crap out of him, and then he started crying again. Okay, I'm confused. He's all over the place with his emotions. He can't keep them under control. And it's really funny that River is the person who pointed that out. Then she starts to chastise him like she's his mom. Then we cut to Agnes, who's sprinting to her trailer like someone's after her. I think she's having a full-on panic attack. And then, of course, River comes into the trailer to comfort her. She's really spazzing out because she just can't believe that the highest killed them. And I think she's, just riddled with guilt and really feeling ashamed and scared even. And then, she is breaking down, saying that she can't take it anymore. And then River, of course, is there to tell her, you got to pull it together. Everything's going to be okay. You just have to, just ride this out. Oh, yeah. And before we move to the next scene, she did mention the pig's blood and that she actually saw the pig's blood. So here is where River is coming to grips with the truth as well. And he said, "Oh, okay, well, he really did kill them." Because remember before, he told Ruth that it was pig's blood and that's what he believed. But now that Joan is confirming that she actually saw the pig and the blood, and it's not pig's blood that was on the highest. Then he leaves her trailer and comes out, and of course he's running into Daikon again because he's trying to make it over to the highest trailer. And of course Daikon wants to know why he's in the finance trailer with Joan. He tells her that the stunt that they pulled with the highest walking through the compound with the blood on him frightened the women, so he was just there to console her. Then River wants Daikon to do the same in comforting the women, but Daikon said no, they should be scared, and it's designed by the Raku that they have fear in them. He simply warns River not to go near the finance trailer again. And not to make the next scene all drawn out, I'll just let you know that we're in the sheriff's office now, and then Nirine comes in. She comes into the sheriff's office, and he asks her, what is that smell? And she said that it's perfume, and then he thinks it's her perfume, but it's not her perfume. And of course, remember, Deputy Polk and Melinda was on his desk, and he ran the cameras back. He saw that they were, making out on his desk, and he just thought it was a bit disgusting. And then Nirine said that she will clean the desk off for him. Then we moved to Oliver standing outside of the highest trailer, and he's guarding the trailer, and I'm sure he's going to let somebody know that he can't find the keys, right? Then Andrew pops up, and sure enough, he tells him he can't find his keys. Then Andrew is asking him, well, where did you last have them? And then he goes, oh, I had them in my room. Then he says he had them in the shed when he was talking to Lacey. And then Andrew tells him, you need to go look for them. You got to find the keys. Like, you can't keep going on like this. We got to get rid of this car. And then he says, well, I can't leave my post. So Andrew says, okay, I'm just going to help you look for them. So he goes off to the shed looking for the keys. Then we cut back to Ruth and the highest, and he's warning her not to do that again. And I'm assuming he's talking about touch on him. And he warns her and tells her, look, if I tell you to go, you need to go. And then Ruth is still firm. She says, you know, I'll take my punishment, but if you're hurting, I don't want to leave you. The highest tells her how special she is, and then he understands why Daikon likes her so much. And she has to assure him that nothing's going on between her and Daikon. He tells Ruth that he thought about what they did and that he wanted to do it again. And Ruth said, of course, you know, whenever you like. And he said, well, you don't mind? And she said, no, I don't mind. Then he goes on to tell her that she's going to be tested, that she had already passed all the tests, but she's going to have a final test, and it's going to be a big one. And she said, if you give me a test, I'm going to rise to the occasion. So she's ready. He then tells her that he wants to play a movie for the compound, for the Raku. And I think the movie has something to do with them learning a different language for the New World Order. Then they conclude the scene with the highest telling Ruth to come on over and do his nails. So Andrew is off in the shed looking for the keys, and lo and behold, you know who popped up. Bam! It's Daikon. On the scene, live and in person. So Daikon is over asking him, hey man, you know, what are you doing? And Andrew tells him that he's looking for his lucky stick. What in the heck is a lucky stick? So he tells him, you know, well, I'll help you look for the stick. And then he goes, well, no, you know, you're too busy. I'll be just fine. Then he calls, Daikon calls over William and tells William to help Andrew look for his lucky stick, right? So then William agrees, of course, and then he walks off. Then Daikon goes on to ask him, well, first he said it was good to have him back, and that he's basically questioning him about how he killed his wife. And then Andrew said, okay, I just walked up to her and shot her in the head. You know, just that simple. Then the conversation goes back and forth, and then Daikon brought up the fact that they had someone on the inside at the sheriff's station, and that person basically reported back that the new deputy, or I guess they were talking about Brian at this point, his desk was clean, that he didn't have any type of paperwork, like it was as if no one worked there at the desk. And so that alerted Daikon in some sense that, you know, okay, maybe he's a plant. And then they also found out that they had a plant inside the compound. And then Andrew says, oh, well, you know, who do you think it is? And Daikon said, I think it's you. It's you. And that concludes this episode of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 2, Episode 5. Please, if you haven't already done so, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you are a true Ruthless fan, come on over to the Facebook group and join us there, where we're talking all things Ruthless every single day. The link to the group is down below in the description. It's Tyler Perry's Ruthless Fans. All right, so everybody take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.